Welcome back, Survivalists. Today we're taking a look at the Thunder T1 electric bike by Turboant. And I also want to explore the idea of, is having a rugged electric bike like this a good idea in case of any emergency situations? Now, full disclosure, Turboant did send me this bike for free, but they are not paying me to do a review, and my thoughts are completely my own. So first, let's take a look at some of the specs and features of this bike. So the Thunder T1 features a brushless 750 watt motor actually built right into the rear wheel. And this design of integrating the electric motor right into the rear wheel actually has a few benefits to it. One, there's not as many exposed parts, so there's a lot less risk of things getting damaged, but this also allows you to use their pedal assist feature, where you can pedal the bike at the same time as using this electric motor. And I'll be honest, this is actually the feature that I love the most about the bike. I would often use this pedal assist feature when I'm trying to ride up a steep hill, and I would use a combination of me pedaling as well as the electric motor to get up steep hill or get over some rugged terrain. I'd also often use this to kind of get momentum and build up momentum when I'm starting off from a dead stop. Now, I'm 210 pounds, and I'm actually very impressed with the acceleration of this motor, even in rougher terrain like in grass. Now, Turboant says that this bike can get up to 28 miles per hour on ideal conditions, so that'd probably be on a paved road, and that's with a combination of the electric motor as well as pedaling. Now, personally, I was able to get it up to 20 miles per hour on a paved road with using just the electric motor, which I think is very impressive, and it's actually a lot of fun. That's probably the fastest I've ever been on a pedal bike like that. Now, to test out this motor, I actually hooked up a third-party bike trailer to the back of this bike, and I have my 60-pound son in there, and I would ride him around the neighborhood. And I'm actually blown away that the throttle, in my opinion, is almost just as responsive. Even with the bike trailer and my son, and I'm able to get the bike up to 20 miles per hour. I am very, very impressed with, I guess, just the torque in this electric motor, and just how quickly it can accelerate. And yeah, I'm very impressed with how well it handled the additional weight of having the bike trailer on the back of it. And for those of you who are concerned about what happens if the bike gets out of control, the motor gets stuck or something, well, there's actually a kill switch right below the throttle that completely shuts off the motor, so you really don't have to worry about that too much. Now, the throttle is actually built into about half of the right-hand grip, so it feels very intuitive, and if you've ever ridden a motorcycle, this is going to feel very, very natural to you. It's just like a motorcycle throttle. And for the battery, the bike features a 40-volt 14 amps battery integrated right into the frame, so it's really not even all that noticeable. And this battery is replaceable, so if you wanted to have 2 or 3 batteries charged up, or if in 5-10 years this battery ever kind of loses its juice, you can replace the battery. In order to take the battery out, you do require a key, so you don't have to worry about attaching your bike outside of a store somewhere and somebody coming up and stealing your battery. And the battery also features a USB port, which I think is really cool. So if you had maybe your GPS pulled up on your phone, you could run a cable down to the battery to keep that fully charged. Or if you're out camping or in an emergency situation, you can use this battery to charge other devices like a GPS or your phone. Now, according to Turboant, you can get up to 60 miles range on one fully charged battery. But personally, I found that I could go off-roading or kind of ride up hills and kind of really beat this thing up. And I would get about 15 to 20 minutes off of one charge of heavily using the electric motor and going up a lot of hill and rough terrain. Now, if you dialed that back a bit and you really only use that motor to pick up acceleration or for some pedal assist features going up steep hills, you could probably, get that battery to last a good bit longer. Now, this bike also features some really fat tires. These tires are 26 inches by 4 inches, and they're all-terrain tires. Now, when I first saw this, I had concerns that this may make the bike harder to pedal, especially on the road, but that's not the case at all. Even on the road or in rough terrain, this is just as easy to pedal and get up to speed without the motor as any mountain bike, right? And I'm actually really happy with these tires, so it makes it very easy to transition from being on a paved road to being on a gravel road to just being out in the woods and going over some very rugged terrain. And for the suspension, it has 3.1-inch front fork shock absorbers, and these are adjustable. So if you are a heavier person or a lighter person, you can adjust these very easily to make them more stiff or more loose, or depending on the type of terrain that you're on. So if you're going on a paved road, mostly you probably want them to be a little bit tighter. If you're going off-road, you may want it to be a little bit looser. And the bike also has an electric display that shows you your speed, your battery life, and has an odometer built into it. And so far I'm up to about 60 miles of riding on this bike. Now I also want to explore the idea of, is having a rugged electric bike like this useful for emergency situations? We recently had Hurricane Ida hit the Northeast, and with that hurricane, it spawned off many tornadoes, including a tornado that literally went through the main street of my city here in Annapolis. And that tornado actually knocked down trees and metal signs, and actually made that main road unpassable by traditional vehicles for a few days. And situations like that is where I think having a much more rugged and maneuverable electric bike like this could really come in handy. That road was impassable by traditional vehicles, even the most rugged 4x4 pickup truck out there. It literally can't drive through trees and metal signs, but something like a small electric bike, you can maneuver through the debris. And I think this is actually common to see in the aftermath of disasters where the terrain is unpassable by traditional vehicles. And I think that's why you can really make the case that having a maneuverable electric bike like this could be a good addition to your home preps. And I think a bike like this becomes even more valuable if you pair it with something like the EcoFlow home battery backup system, which could directly charge your electric bike. If you bought some solar panels as well to charge that battery, you could essentially have an indefinite source of power for your electric bike. You can also then buy a third-party bike trailer like I have to tow your children around or tow your gear and supply around. And now you've got a renewable and rugged source of transportation, even in the aftermath of the worst disasters. So for my final thoughts on the Thunder T1 electric bike by Turboant, I am very impressed with this bike. I'm impressed with the build quality of the bike. I'm impressed with the torque and the acceleration of the bike. Even when I have a trailer with my son in it, it accelerates incredibly fast. I love that I can get it up to 20 miles per hour on a paved road. I love the pedal assist feature, that I can use the electric motor while I'm pedaling to get the bike uphill or get it from a dead stop or over rough terrain. And I think this bike could be a good fit for a lot of people. If you're just looking for a fun toy that you can take off-road or go on paved trails, this bike would be great for you. If you have an RV or a camper, I think this would be a great addition to bring along with you. And yeah, if you are a serious prepper and you want to be prepared for an emergency situation, I think having a rugged electric bike like this could be a great addition to your emergency preps. So if you want to learn more about the Thunder T1 by Turboant, or you want to check out some of their other electric bikes, I will have an affiliate link down in the description below. If you use my link, you are supporting me and supporting this channel, helping me make more great videos just like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.